True friendship is rare, precious, and worth guarding carefully. In a world obsessed with social connections, likes, and followers, the depth of a bond often suffers for breadth. Genuine friendship demands selectivity, loyalty, and shared virtue, a truth echoed across philosophy, poetry, and even modern pop music. The video highlights this principle, showing how Aristotle, Taylor Swift, and Bulleh Shah each convey the same lesson in their respective mediums. Spreading bonds too thinly dilutes their power. As the old proverb says, a friend to all is a friend to none, reminding us that authenticity is found not in popularity, but in depth, devotion, and the courage to choose the right companions. Aristotle's philosophy provides the earliest systematic reflection on friendship. In Nicomachean Ethics, Books 8 and Ix, he defines philia, or brotherly love, as essential to eudaimonia, human flourishing. He categorizes friendship into three types: utility, pleasure, and virtue. Utility-based friendships exist for mutual gain, business partnerships, or transactional alliances. These are inherently fragile, dissolving when the benefit disappears. Pleasure-based friendships, rooted in shared enjoyment or amusement, last slightly longer but remain dependent on tastes and circumstances, fading as interests diverge. The rarest, Aristotle argues, is friendship of virtue, in which two good individuals recognize and cultivate goodness in one another. These bonds are reciprocal, self-improving, and enduring. Virtue friendships resist egoism, superficiality, and opportunism, requiring attention, patience, and moral alignment. They are not formed casually. They demand selectivity and loyalty, emphasizing depth over breadth. Aristotle warns that attempting to be friends with everyone is not only impossible but destructive. The act of spreading oneself too thin undermines devotion, trust, and genuine intimacy. Superficial friendliness creates a facade of connection without substance, leaving none of the relationships capable of enduring trials or supporting personal growth. In this framework, the moral and practical function of friendship becomes clear. True companions help each other flourish, strengthen character, and provide support during challenges, while casual acquaintances cannot shoulder these responsibilities. The lesson is simple yet profound. Choose your friends carefully, invest in the few, and cultivate loyalty and virtue in each bond. Fast-forwarding to modern culture, Taylor Swift echoes these age-old principles in her music. In the song Cardigan, from her folklore album, she references the proverb, "A friend to all is a friend to none. Chase two girls, lose the one," popularized as stemming from Aristotle. Swift's lyrical illustration places this wisdom in the realm of human emotion and social consequence. In her narrative, superficial attempts at pleasing everyone lead to betrayal and loss, as James' divided attention results in the ultimate erosion of trust and connection. Swift critiques opportunism and insincerity, showing that true loyalty requires focus, prioritization, and courage to maintain exclusivity. Modern listeners can see this play out not only in romantic triangles, but in friendships, business relationships, and social networks, where spreading oneself too widely often sacrifices depth, trust, and meaningful support. Similarly, the spiritual wisdom of Bulleh Shah, the 17th century Punjabi Sufi poet, aligns seamlessly with Aristotle's virtue-focused friendship. Bulleh Shah emphasizes the importance of selective heart-deep bonds, cautioning that not everyone qualifies as a IR or beloved friend. In his poetry, he writes, "Sapna yari nahai, yar dil dayakai." Not everyone is a companion. The true friend is one of the heart. His kafis, such as Mati Jora, Mati Gora, portray companionship that transcends material concerns and superficial ties, reflecting mystical as well as moral alignment. For Bulleh Shah, friendship is not merely social. It is spiritual, requiring discernment, devotion, and moral resonance between hearts. He warns against false bonds, emphasizing that genuine connection demands time, attention, and reciprocal care. Despite the centuries and cultural differences separating Aristotle, Swift, and Bulleh Shah, a common lesson emerges. Authentic friendship requires choosing wisely. It is impossible to cultivate virtue, loyalty, and depth in superficial relationships. Aristotle teaches that virtue friendships demand mutual moral excellence. Swift demonstrates that divided attention erodes trust. Bulleh Shah shows that only the heart can discern true bonds. Across philosophy, pop culture, and poetry, the principle is the same. Invest in a few meaningful relationships rather than pursuing mass popularity or shallow connections. True friends support you through hardship, challenge your character, and enhance your life, not simply fill social calendars or provide temporary enjoyment. Practically, this insight has profound implications for modern life. In a culture dominated by social media, many equate the number of connections or followers with social success. Yet Aristotle's and Bulleh Shah's teachings remind us that quality far outweighs quantity. Superficial friends spread rumors, betray confidence, or fail in moments of real need. Investing deeply in a select circle of 3 to 5 friends, however, yields enduring loyalty, emotional support, and mutual growth. These are relationships in which individuals hold each other accountable, share aspirations, and confront challenges together, embodying the ancient ideal of virtue friendship in a contemporary context. Moreover, selective friendship aligns with personal growth. Shallow bonds often reinforce egoism, distraction, or conformity, whereas deep friendships cultivate self-awareness, honesty, and moral development. Aristotle's notion of reciprocal virtue means that friends encourage each other toward betterment. Without this, relationships stagnate or degrade. Taylor Swift's modern interpretation illustrates the emotional consequences of neglecting this principle. Divided attention, opportunism, and superficiality lead to betrayal and loss. Bulleh Shah's spiritual lens emphasizes that only those aligned with one's inner values can provide true companionship. Together, these perspectives underscore that friendship is not merely emotional comfort, but a vehicle for ethical, moral, and personal development. In our own lives, the lesson is actionable. Auditing your social circle for reciprocity and depth ensures that your energy is not wasted on fleeting connections. It encourages us to invest our time, attention, and trust in friends who demonstrate loyalty, character, and genuine care. The phrase, "a friend to all is a friend to none," becomes not merely a proverb, but a guiding principle. Rather than accumulating acquaintances, cultivate bonds that withstand adversity, nurture virtue, and enhance human flourishing. By focusing on select, reliable companions, we can achieve a richer, more meaningful social life that balances emotional satisfaction with ethical and moral growth. This philosophy also speaks to conflict resolution and social trust. Virtue-based friendships provide a foundation for honesty and accountability. Friends who share moral character and mutual respect are more likely to challenge poor decisions, offer constructive feedback, and support each other through failure. In contrast, superficial bonds, built on convenience, pleasure, or social gain, are unreliable and often vanish under pressure. The alignment of character, intention, and loyalty ensures that true friends act as allies in growth, reflection, and resilience. Aristotle, Swift, and Bulleh Shah all reinforce this principle. Without selectivity and shared values, friendship cannot flourish. Furthermore, the wisdom of selective friendship has implications beyond personal life. In workplaces, communities, and creative endeavors, cultivating a small circle of trustworthy collaborators can improve decision-making, emotional resilience, and collective achievement. Aristotle's virtue friends foster moral and practical growth. Swift's cautionary tales highlight the dangers of divided attention. Bulleh Shah's poetic guidance emphasizes the spiritual and ethical alignment required for authentic connection. By applying these lessons broadly, we see that friendship is a cornerstone of social stability, personal fulfillment, and ethical living. In conclusion, Friendship is not a commodity to be distributed widely, nor is it an emotional convenience. It is a deliberate choice requiring discernment, loyalty, and shared virtue. From Aristotle's philosophical treatises to Taylor Swift's lyrical storytelling, to Bulleh Shah's Sufi poetry, the enduring lesson is the same. Invest deeply in a select few, prioritize virtue and moral alignment, and resist the temptation to be friends with everyone. Superficial connections may bring temporary comfort, but only a handful of true friends provide the support, growth, and resilience essential for a flourishing life. The video reminds us that authenticity in friendship is timeless, cross-cultural, and as vital today as it was centuries ago. By auditing our social circles, choosing companions with care, and fostering deep, reciprocal bonds, we honor the ancient wisdom of virtue friendship. True friends are rare, but they shape our character, enrich our lives, and sustain us through adversity. In a world where superficiality often masquerades as connection, the principles of selectivity, loyalty, and shared virtue are more relevant than ever. They teach us that meaningful relationships are not about quantity or popularity. They are about depth, integrity, and the courage to cultivate bonds that endure. Aristotle, Swift, and Bulleh Shah converge on one truth. Real friendship is a treasure worth protecting, investing in, and cherishing, because it transforms life into something richer, more resilient, and profoundly human.